Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome if it is your first time at my channel, and welcome back if this is not your first time. I am Sarah Lavender, and this is my ASMR channel. If you clicked on this to use it as a guided meditation and you don't know what ASMR is, it stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, and it is a physical sensation that many people have in the back of their head or somewhere else in their body that is triggered by certain stimuli, such as whispering or even visual stimuli. So that is why I am speaking very softly and why I will be whispering every once in a while and doing things like finger flutters. So I want to start today's video off by saying that I am not a licensed counselor. I'm not a therapist. I don't have any professional experience in mental health. This is simply a guided meditation exercise that I have done with my therapist in therapy. But I want to urge you that this is not a replacement for therapy. That nothing can beat a real therapy session with a professional, and this is not in place of that. I will link resources down below to what I read up on before I created this video, and which exercise my therapist did with me specifically. And the theme of this exercise is creating a safe space. A safe space. Now, a safe space is a mental place for you to go when you are feeling stressed out or overwhelmed, and you practice going to your safe space in your head in order to calm down and keep you within your window of tolerance. Though I want to say that this is not an exercise for if you are actually in immediate danger. And it's an exercise I would urge you to practice when you are relaxed and potentially not that stressed out, so that when you are stressed, you have practice going there, because it is a habit you can build. So for best results, I would practice going to your safe space once you've created it every day if you can. You can watch this video again if your safe place doesn't feel correct or right. And you can also watch other people's videos for how to create your own safe space. Though I would urge you, when you're finding other videos, try not to follow along to one that is creating the space for you. You really want it to be your own. So if they're talking about a cabin in the woods and following down that line of thinking, don't think that that has to be what your safe space is. So during this video, I'm going to give you examples and maybe add a little bit of sound effects just to get your imagination going, but don't feel as if you have to choose one from my list. I will simply be giving you ideas. So before we begin, I would like to ask you to get into a comfortable position. Try to relax the muscles on your face and your shoulders. If you want to lie down or just find a comfortable chair. And we're going to take a few deep breaths together because, as I said, it's really good to create your safe space in a relaxed state of mind. So, let's take a deep breath in and then hold it. And again. And of course, feel free to do that throughout this video. So, let's begin. So, the basis of your safe space is a location in your mind. It can be real, it can be in your past, or it can be a fantasy world. It can be anything that you want. It can be Hogwarts, in the library of Hogwarts. It can be in the Shire, or it can be a place in your past that you have felt confident and comfortable and at peace. I would urge you to not use a space that you're in right now. Of course, you can do whatever you want in the end, but if you choose a space you are currently in, the real world can sometimes bleed into that and change your opinion of it. So, I'm going to list some examples, any ones that stand out to you. Try to latch onto, pause the video, skip ahead if you need to, and kind of build on that space, okay? The more details you can add to it, the better, the more realistic it's going to seem. So, let's picture maybe a mountain, a cabin in the mountains, and snow is falling heavily onto the roof, but on the inside it's very warm. There's a fireplace, and you've got a big blanket on your lap. Or maybe it's sitting in the grass underneath a giant tree in a beautiful green field. And you can feel a cool breeze touching your face. And maybe there's a stream running nearby, and you can hear birds. Or maybe it's on a hot air balloon, and you're floating above the entire world. Or is spaceship. Or maybe it's on the beach and your toes are in the sand. And you hear the ocean right next to you. Or maybe it's a beautiful art studio with lots of natural light coming through. And every paint color in the world. So, if you would, pause the video and really get this location in your head. Or I will do a little bit of hand sounds as you think. Okay, hopefully you've got your spot in your head. I'm going to ask you some questions about what your senses can sense in your safe space. Be as specific as you can. What can you see? And then, can you smell anything? Maybe coffee or pie, a baking pie, or maybe rain on pavement, or the salty air near an ocean. Can you hear anything in your space? Can you hear any music? What can you hear and see and smell? Maybe you're eating a snack or drinking something. What kind of light is there? Is there a lot of light? Is it kind of dark? Is it warm or cold or cool? Maybe kind of hot. I really like hot weather. Can you feel anything there? Maybe imagine yourself walking through your space and touching all the little things that you have in there. Try to make it as real as possible. Maybe you have little helpers who live with you in that space. That can be pets or animals or magic creatures. It can be fairies or angels. Whatever you want. Don't let anyone else, nobody you actually know, into your safe space. That is your safe space. And you are in complete control of it. Once you've got more details cemented, you need to come up, well, you don't need to, you should come up with a way to access your safe space. Imagine yourself maybe going into a magic portal and it takes you there. Or maybe it's a door with a key or a pin that only you know that you can get in. Maybe it's a wardrobe that you open and walk into. It can be any way you want to get in, but it should be a way that only you know how to. So the helpers, you don't have to include them. Of course, you can have whatever you like, whatever makes you feel safe. So once it's done, stand there in your safe space, or sit, or lie down, and try to picture yourself there. And after this video is done, go there as often as you can. The more times you imagine something, the more connections or pathways you're making in your brain, and it becomes easier and easier for your little neurons to go down that same pathway over and over. Your electrical signals, I don't know if neurons is the right word, but you get it. One last thing I'd like to mention: if somebody or something ever invades your safe space, you have complete power to go back in time and kick them out. You can just vanish them away. You are completely in charge of your safe space. You can snap your fingers and make them poof. So don't be afraid to use magic or whatever you can think of to make your space safe. But if you start feeling scared, leave your safe space. It is, in the end, only your imagination, and it cannot hurt you. Okay? One last tip. If you are having trouble creating your safe space because maybe you feel you don't deserve it, or you can't imagine being in charge of your own space, you struggle with feelings of safety, create a space for someone you love, a younger sibling or a pet, anybody or anything that you have empathy for. Create the most beautiful, wonderful, safe space for them. For if they're ever feeling scared, they can go to that space. And that should help you imagine your safe space in the end. So once again, I hope this helped you. I hope you were able to create a safe space. You can watch more videos. There are so many videos over this topic on YouTube. And if you feel like you want to talk to a therapist about it, I'm a huge advocate of therapy, so you can walk through this with a real, I'm not saying I'm not real, but a professional, and they can help you build it and encounter any unique problems you might have, when to use your safe space, things like that. But I thought this could be good as just an entry-level meditation. And also, I remember being so curious about what people did in therapy. And of course, most of it is talking and processing. But with my therapist, we would go through meditations and exercises like this, especially if I was having a very anxious day and I didn't want to talk, and I didn't want to be there and be in therapy that day. So I would say, can we just do some meditations to calm me down and not make me think, or make me think about things outside of my real life? So this video is kind of a tiny demonstration of what a professional, realistic meditation or meditation would be in therapy. So I hope you are leaving this with a beautiful, 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 beautiful place to call your own. If you want to leave in the comments what your safe space is, feel free to. I like seeing other people's ideas. Sometimes it helps me add to my safe space. Okay. Until next time.